We will now reinsert the shim, making certain that the seam is facing the center of the terminals on the speaker frame. This will help you keep the wire together. Notice that the seam is center of the two terminal eyelets. We are now ready to fit the voice coil. Rule number 1, never force parts. This voice coil should slide snugly over the shim stock and stay in place. If it feels too loose, use a thicker shim. If it's too tight, use a thinner shim. Make sure the little wires on the voice coil are centered on the seam of the shim and also facing the terminals on the speaker frame. You will want the winding on the voice coil to be barely showing above the speaker plate, as you see here. Also notice that the wires are in front of the terminal strips. You will want the winding on the voice coil to be barely showing above the speaker plate, usually about 3 windings of the coil. Check all around, making sure the coil is sitting even. We are now ready to check the voice coil clearance. This yellow shim seems to be too loose, so we'll try a red. That's better. Go all around the voice coil, making sure there are no tight spots. If you do feel a tight spot, the voice coil may be out of round, or it may have trash in it, but it needs to be corrected. And I would like to say the steps up to this point right here will be applied to all the speakers we do, no matter what size or shape. We are now ready to set the spider. Once again, the rule is do not force parts. You may want to examine the old cone assembly to see which way this spider will sit. You can enlarge the hole with a round object like we just did with a pencil, or you may have to use your cuticle scissors to make the part fit. We don't use any adhesives until all the parts have been fitted. We will mark with a pencil around the outside of the spider edge for our gluing purposes later. Now let's remove the spider and check and make sure that we didn't move the voice coil. We didn't push it down or move it. Notice the spider pretty well just falls into place. That's what you want. We are now ready to fit the cone. And once again, don't force it, make it fit. We will use the same technique, a pencil, to enlarge the hole. You can even use a wine bottle or something like that if you want to. And still we haven't used any adhesives. Let's see how this fits. That fits real good. So we are now ready to add adhesives. We will start with a blue colored bottle and apply the adhesive to the spider and to the voice coil. It is a good idea to have a rag handy and get your glue flowing before you start the process. We are now ready to glue. This may require a little practice. However, you can use an old cone assembly or something to practice on till you get to where you can lay a good bead. We will now add the cone. We will glue from the front side, as you see here. Now, we need to wait a while. I usually give it at least 4 hours. We are going to remove the cone assembly, voice coil, shim, and all. It looks okay. We are now ready to glue the cone assembly to the speaker frame. We will use the green colored bottle for this process. Apply the adhesive to the speaker frame at both the spider seat and the cone edge seat. There's the spider seat. Now we will do the surround. Notice where your terminals are and make sure that your wires line up and the seam on the voice coil. We are now going to insert the cone assembly. I repeat, make sure the terminal wires are facing the terminal post on the speaker frame. Now we will check the spider edge, making sure it has seated properly and is bonded. We are now ready for the gasket. We will apply the same glue to the cone surround edge. Notice we are using a one-piece gasket. Make sure you line the speaker hose up with the slots in the gasket. Now I'm going to set another speaker on top of this speaker to hold everything in place while the glue dries, approximately 4 to 6 hours. If you don't have a speaker, you can use a flat piece of plywood or clothespins. We are now ready to remove the shim stock. Now place your hands on each side of the speaker, pressing down gently. The speaker should move freely. Also listen for any sound of rubbing. We will now place the dust cap on the cone. We will line it up the best we can and mark it with a white pencil. Remove the dust cap and measure from the voice coil to the line we just drew. Do this at different places. This will help in making sure the dust cap is sitting straight. We are now ready to install the tensile wire. Punch 2 holes in the cone, making sure they are in line with the terminals on the speaker frame, as you see here. Cut about 8 inches of tensile wire. Push it through the hose. We will very gently wrap the small wire on the voice coil around the tensile wire. Happening compound already